Hello students, I am from Biology faculty of QLS Academy. Today we are going to learn about life processes. So students, let's start with our lesson of today. Now the main question is, what are life processes? Before we go any further, let's discuss how do we tell the difference between what is alive and what is not alive. जब हम किसी बर्ड को उड़ते हुए देखते हैं, लोगों को बस पकड़ते हुए देखते हैं, हमें पता है कि ये सब लिविंग बीइंग्स हैं. What if we see a cat which is sleeping or a plant with no flowers? We would still think that they are alive, but how do we know that? We see them breathing and we know that they are alive. But what about plants? How do we know that they are alive? We see them green, some of us will say they are alive. But what about plants that have leaves of colors other than green? They grow over time, so we know that they are alive, some will say. In other words, we tend to think of some sort of movement, either growth related or not, as common evidences for being alive. But a plant that is not visibly growing is still alive, and some animals can breathe without visible movement. So using visible movement as the defining characteristic of life is not enough. So before we go any further, we need to know what are life processes. The maintenance functions of living organisms must go on even when they are not doing anything particular. Even when we are just sitting in this class, even if we are just asleep, this maintenance job has to go on. The process which together perform this maintenance job are life processes. The basic essential activities performed by an organism to sustain life on earth is called as life processes. There are 7 important life processes which are common to all plants, birds and animals, which include growth, movement, respiration, transportation, excretion, reproduction and nutrition. We will study about each of them in detail. Now first let's talk about nutrition. Now what is nutrition? The process by which an organism takes food and utilizes it is called as nutrition. Now what is the need of nutrition? Nutrition की ज़रूरत क्या है? Organisms need energy to perform various activities. हम सबको energy की ज़रूरत होती है हर चीज़ करने के लिए. The energy is supplied by the nutrients. Organisms need various raw materials for growth and repair. These raw materials are provided by nutrients. Now what are nutrients? Materials which provide nutrition to organisms are called as nutrients. Carbohydrates, proteins and fats are the main nutrients. ये main nutrients है and thus they are called as macronutrients. Minerals and vitamins are required in small quantities and hence they are called as micronutrients. Now what are the types of nutrition? Basically nutrition is of two types, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Now the mode of nutrition in which an organism prepares its own food is called as autotrophic nutrition. Green plants and blue-green algae follow the autotrophic mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism takes food from another organism is called as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Organisms other than green plants and blue-green algae follow heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition can be further divided into two types, that is saprophytic nutrition and holozoic nutrition. In saprophytic nutrition, the organism secretes the digestive juices on the food. The food is digested while it is still to be ingested. The digested food is then ingested by the organism. All the decomposers follow saprophytic nutrition. Some insects like houseflies also follows these mode of nutrition. Now, holozoic nutrition. In holozoic nutrition, the digestion happens inside the body of the organism, that is after the food is ingested. Most of the animals follow this mode of nutrition. Now let's talk about plants. In plants, photosynthesis is an autotrophic mode of nutrition and in also some bacteria. Photosynthesis is the physico-chemical process by which plants can convert light energy into chemical energy in the form of carbohydrate from simple inorganic substances like atmospheric carbon dioxide and water. Green leaves are the main sites of photosynthesis. The green portion of the plant contains a pigment called as chloroplast, which contains chlorophyll. The whole process of photosynthesis can be shown by the following equation, that is 6 CO2, that is carbon dioxide, plus 6 H2O, that is water, which gives to C6H12O6, that is glucose, plus 6O2, that is oxygen. Let us now see what actually happens during the process of photosynthesis. Now, the photosynthesis, the following events occur during this process. First is the absorption of light energy by the chlorophyll, then is the conversion of light energy to chemical energy, and then splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, and then reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. These steps needs not take place one after the other immediately. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ये step एक के बाद एक हो. For example, desert plants take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. Let us see how each of the components of the above reactions are necessary for photosynthesis. Now, if you carefully observe a cross section of a leaf under the microscope, you will notice that some cells contains green dots. Now, what are these green dots? These green dots are actually cell organelles called as chloroplast, which contains chlorophyll. Leaf possesses small pores called as stomata on both of their surfaces. Now, stomatas are the structures which help in the exchange of gases. Opening and closing of stomata are brought about by the guard cells present in them. Now, leaves are rich in plastids. Green colored plastids are chloroplasts rich in chlorophyll pigment. Chlorophyll is responsible for trapping the energy from the sunlight. We talked about nutrition in plants. Now let's talk about nutrition in human beings. Now the human digestive system is composed of an alimentary canal and some accessory glands. Now the alimentary canal is divided into several parts, that is esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and then finally anus. Salivary gland, liver and pancreas are the accessory glands which lie outside the alimentary canal. We eat various types of food which has to pass through the same digestive tract. Naturally, the food has to be processed to generate particles which are small and of the same texture. This is achieved by crushing the food with our teeth. Since the lining of the canal is soft, the food is also wetted to make its passage smooth. When we eat something, we like our mouth waters. This is actually not only water but a fluid called as saliva secreted by the salivary glands. Another aspect of the food we ingest is its complex nature. If it is to be absorbed from the alimentary canal, it has to be broken down into smaller molecules. Now this is done with the help of biological catalysts called as enzymes. The saliva contains an enzyme called as salivary amylase that breaks down the starch, which is a complex molecules to give sugar. The food is mixed thoroughly with saliva and moved around the mouth while chewing by the muscular tongue. The food from the mouth then goes down the esophagus, which is the food pipe, to the stomach through the movement of the walls of esophagus, that is peristalsis. This peristaltic movement of food pipe pushes slightly digested into the stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped organ present on the left side of the abdomen. The stomach walls contain 3 tubular glands in its walls which secretes gastric juice. Now, the gastric juice contains 3 substances, that is hydrochloric acid HCl, the enzyme pepsin and mucus. The hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of enzyme pepsin, that is for the digestion of protein. The mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from its own secretion of HCl. The partially digested food then goes from the stomach into the small intestine. The small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal. It is about 6.5 meters. The small intestine is very narrow and arranged in the form of a coil in our belly. The small intestine in human being is the site of complete digestion of food like carbohydrates, proteins and fats. The small intestine receives the secretion of 2 glands, that is liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile, which is a greenish yellow liquid made in the liver and stored in gallbladder. Now the bile performs basically 2 functions. Makes the acidic food coming from the stomach alkaline so that the pancreatic enzymes can act on it, and secondly, bile salts break the fats present in the food into small globules, making it easy for the enzymes to act and digest them. The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contains enzyme like pancreatic amylase for breaking down starch, trypsin for digesting protein and lipase for breaking down emulsified fats. The walls of the small intestine contains glands which secretes intestinal juice. The enzymes present in it finally convert the proteins into amino acids, complex carbohydrates into glucose, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. In this way, the process of digestion converts the large and insoluble food molecules into smaller water-soluble molecules. The small intestine is a main region for the absorption of digested food. The inner surface of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called as villi, which increases the surface area for rapid absorption of digested food. The digested food which is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine goes into our blood. The blood carries digested and dissolved food to all parts of the body where it becomes assimilated as part of the cells and is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissues and the repair of old tissues. The unabsorbed food is sent into the large intestine where more villi absorb water from this material. The rest of the material is removed from the body via anus. The exit of this waste material is regulated by anal sphincter. So students, this was all about the life processes. I hope you enjoyed learning this lesson, and if you have any more doubts, you can go to the following link.